Hello, hello. Welcome to day 3 of the Fin and Foil Regatta. We're going to bring you racing from the Technos first. We're going to go into a Windward Leeward course, and they're just all heading out to the start line now. It's pretty light winds. We're kind of in that 10 knot range where they're going to be on the Daggerwoods upwind and then probably doing some pumping on the downwind. So the wind's building. It's going to be building all day, so it's just going to get windier and windier. We're going to start with the race boards first, so we're going to show you a race board start and a little bit of their first upwind, and then we'll keep an eye on them but really focus in on the Technos from the start all the way to the finish, and it's Windward Leeward. Hello, hello! Bringing you the racing, live from the course currently. We're starting with the race boarders. Very cool fleet. We watched some of the racing yesterday. Currently leading is David Coles, then we've got Bob Ingram in second and Tom Davies in third overall. They've just started now. And they're in. At the bottom of the screen there, we've got James Scullion. He didn't compete on day 1 or day 2, so this will be interesting. See how he does going into today on his first day of racing. We've got David Coles there with the orange sail, just to the left of your screen, absolutely blasting away. Very easily visible sail. He's a very strong competitor, currently leading with a net of 5 points, having won 5 of the races. One of his near competitors, Tom Davies, has the other orangey red sail, which you can see a bit further away. He's just tacked onto port now, and he'll be heading up the course that way. Obviously, David Coles thinks the left-hand side is superior, so seems to be going all the way over there. So we'll see who's going to come in the top out in better position. Tom Davies going to the right, as you can see on the screen there. Or David Coles going to the left. Over on the far left, far left, you have Doug Baker, who's one of the top guys yesterday. Apparently he is incredibly speedy in the wind, and we saw that yesterday in the racing. Incredibly quick. We saw him absolutely blasting off in one of the windy races yesterday. Just there in front of Doug, we've got GBR 748, and that is Brad Hills. Brad didn't compete on day 1, but he scored a consistent day of 4.54 yesterday, so he's just tacking off onto starboard. I think they'll be approaching the starboard ley line, so that's where they tack, and they should just go straight to the mark, all on starboard. We'll see if they got that correctly. But as you can see on that far other side of the course, you'll see that they're crossing by a significant margin. So surprise, David Coles, the event leader, an experienced race boarder, looks like he got it right. So we're over to the techno starts now. The techno racing yesterday was fairly contested at the top, but we were dominated by a few sailors. You can see them all crowding around on the start line there. Current leaders having really achieved consistent results. That's them off the line now, pumping away. Really great start for GBR 483, which is Ruby Webb. Ruby Webb is currently in 4th overall after scoring an incredibly consistent week and having a great few races yesterday. Above that on the green sail is Ollie Cooper. Ollie is leading the overall fleet on the Techno Plus. Ruby's just tacking there onto port, and looks like she's having a tight cross with the starboard tack. Ooh, good job on GBR 3477 avoiding that there. Ollie Cooper aggressively tacking on top of Ruby. They look like the leaders really want to go to the right hand side of the course. Potentially there's a gust or a lift there. Ruby making the smart decision to tack on top of the fleet, so she's really in a perfect spot where she's protecting herself in a really good position, staying between the majority of the fleet and the upwind mark. This is a windward leeward course, so they head upwind, downwind to a gate, upwind again, downwind to a gate, and then through the finish. You can really see Ollie's speed there, which has definitely helped him with his consistent results. He's really working hard, pumping and pushing. He's a born racer. We had a good interview with him yesterday. He loves the game and he loves when it's super tight and consistent racing as well. That's GBR 3571. Sorry, 3531. So that's Milo Potts, our current event leader. Doing incredibly well. Big extension the rest of the fleet away. I think he went on a low mode, which is a quick mode off to that right hand corner. Didn't go on starboard tack at all, so he must have started on starboard on port, apologies, and went straight. But it does look like Ollie Cooper and Ruby Webb are crossing him. Milo Potts is leading our 7-8 class and is in second overall. Ollie and him have been really fighting, and Ruby has really been pushing them as well. Not to forget about GBR 287, Thomas Sigley, who's been sailing very well as well and is currently in second in the overall 7.8 class. As you can see from above, there's these gusts coming down the course, the big black lines that you can see coming down, and it's offshore winds, so it's really important to stay on top of the shifts and pick the lines. What's quite nice about the overall head view on the Techno sailors is you see this white line of their line across the water, which is pretty useful for tracking their direction and which way they're heading. You can see the front runners there. That's Ollie Cooper leading on top of Ruby Webb just a bit below. That's Ruby tacking off now and Ollie doing a covering tack. That's the wind picking up. You can see it's picking up on the course. They're moving a bit quicker and the water's getting a bit darker. Ollie Cooper's ending it. He's incredibly quick, Ollie, on the Techno Plus category, which is an 8.5 metre, so a slightly bigger sail, which is an advantage in this sort of wind, but he is sailing incredibly well and working incredibly hard. Really impressive for Ruby here, currently sat in second in this race. That would be a personal best for her. Previously in her results she's reached a third as her best result. Ollie, counting a series of a fair amount of consistent firsts. I think this would be his 6th first if he manages to get this win. That's Ollie just approaching the windward mark and rounding for the downwind, working really hard to stay planing. It's important to really take that speed and take it as far as you can on the downwind. Ruby in second. Ollie has a good lead, but Ruby is obviously working incredibly hard to hunt him down to try and catch him up, and she has an incredible lead on the 3rd and 4th, who are really fighting there. 3rd and 4th place are really fighting for that 3rd position, that top 3 position in this race. That's Alice Jarrett just passing there in 4th place. incredibly good race from her. She has previously had a 3rd position, so this would be very close to her PB result. That's Gabriella Hollingshead just passing now. She's in 21st, but one of the top Techno Plus competitors. As you can see, the race borders are just coming across the line now, across the transit line, and they're just tacking there with the Technos. Not getting in their way, but hopefully not causing that Techno blow to miss the ley line. Nope, the Techno's just about squeezing in. GBR 789 just passing now, followed by GBR 222, GBR 3521. It's great conditions out there today on the course. Perfect racing there. A bit lighter winds than they had yesterday, which I'm sure they'll be welcoming a bit of respite. So to confirm, it's going to be 2 laps for the Technos, so they'll be coming back upwind after this. They're just heading to the downwind mark. As you can see right at the far back of your screen, that's the Technos rounding. It looks like Ollie Cooper is still in the lead, but looks like Ruby Webb has gone and split off the other direction. We're just making our way downwind now to the front of the race. You can see Ruby Webb there leading the pack out to the right hand side of the course, so the left of your screen. We always say to the right because every direction, left or right, is looking upwind. So she's going to the right hand side of the course, but that's the left of your screen. So that's Ruby Webb on your screen there. Pushing, you can tell it's Ruby because she's on the 6.8 metre, the smaller size sail, and that's a white and orange sail. The 7.8s are on the orange sails, chasing her down, but she looks in a really comfortable spot and is going really quick. We spoke to Ruby earlier. She'll be attending the World Championships in Pwllheli, Wales, which is starting in less than 2 weeks. Very exciting competition there. It's great to have a UK world-class event, an international event happening in the UK. It doesn't happen very often, and we'll have 60 UK Technos there, so very excited for that, and we'll be bringing you that live, which we're very excited about as well. It'll be very interesting to see whether it's Ollie who went to the left of the course, or whether it's Ruby who went to the right of the course that cross and come out in the lead. That's Ollie Cooper just there on your screen. He looks like he is decently in the lead. He's on the green sail just there in front of you. He looks like he has extended on the second place, Ruby, but it does look like Ruby is holding her position second as well. Hugely impressive from Ollie there. A huge lead, much larger than yesterday. He obviously likes these light wind conditions. So this is Ollie tacking onto the final ley line, upwind ley line, and he'll be going downwind now towards the final reach to the finish. So this is the last lap for Ollie. And he's planing off there. It's going to be hard for the rest of the fleet to catch him unless something goes seriously wrong. But he's looking very good. That's Amelia Gay on your screen just before then. She is currently in 9th in the Techno Plus category. And that's Milo Potts just there, who's 2nd overall and current Techno 7-8 leader. Really chasing down, battling with Ruby. Ruby's tacked onto port, so Milo has overtaken Ruby, and having a very tight situation with that race border there, but glad there was no contact made there. It's an interesting dynamic with the different boards on the course. It's really an extra challenge to navigate, but they're doing very well with that. Ruby's dropped back a little bit, missed that ley line there on starboard. Maybe a tactical decision. But she's sailing a very good race, and it's very impressive to see her on a 6.8 metre, so she's on a smaller size sail, rounding in 2nd in the overall against all the 7/8s. So great to see. This is the overview of the downwinds. You can see all the white disturbed water trailing behind them, showing the line they've just taken. They'll be just heading to the downwind mark now, and that'll be the end of that race. So that's Ollie Cooper, GBR 339, approaching the finish line. That's the gate just there on your screen, so the sailors will be going around that gate. Around that gate and to the finish. That's the Technos there, and the race boards just going all the way to the finish line there, rounding the gate, and they'll be pumping their way to the finish line. That's Milo Potts there in second place, and he's just about to cross the line, quite far behind Ollie, but end of the day, if you get a good result by a metre or by a mile, it doesn't matter. So that's a really good result and well done. Ollie, Ruby is close behind him, really chasing him down. She had a great downwind. She was in sort of a bit further behind initially at the top mark of this second beat, so that's her finish in a really good spot as well. GBR 523. Alice, and the yacht without the yellow flag with the blue flag. So that's GBR out the yellow flag with the blue flag. So that's GBR 663, just crossed the finish line. Laurie Miller, who is a 5.8 techno, currently sitting 23rd overall, but scoring a few DNCs, so this is a great result for Miller, GBR 663. The race boards are finishing at a similar time, and even though they got sent out and started racing a bit earlier, that's because they were doing 3 laps and the Technos are doing 2 laps. That's the rest of the Technos just coming for the start line now. We've changed audio input due to a little bit of interference on the line, so please adjust your volume accordingly. That's GBR 3544. Gabriella Hollingsted. GBR 3362 and GBR 585. That's Sophia Melovic. So guys, that was race 1 of today. That'll be the 9th race in their series. So really starting to build up those race numbers. This is a preparation event for them, for the Techno Worlds. This is the official preparation event. So it's the last time these guys are really going to be competing before they go in for the World Championships, which is going to be about 250 competitors. It's a really big event. International sailors from all over the world, all competing various levels, but obviously at the really high end level as well. We've got really good representation from the UK there. I think we've got 60 technos registered, so really great to see that. That's the technos all chilling after the racing. They're relaxing, they're taking a drink, having a chat, having a debrief with the coach, having a debrief with each other. And you know, that's part of the learning process, and also you can't windsurf constantly because it's pretty hard work. The pumping they're doing in these light winds is hard work. It's a different sort of thing to the windy sort of stuff, where it's more sort of endurance based, muscular, you know, sitting down. In the pumping, it's quite a lot of lungs, a lot of cardio, so it's really a dynamic sport that you need to be fit in many different ways. You need to be strong and fit to do well across the conditions. And the uphauling as well, when they drop the sail, can be tricky as well. That's Benedict Sigley on your screen there. That's GBR 288. He's a 6.8 sailor in 8th overall, but that makes him 3rd 6.8. So really well done, Benedict. Born in 2011. So all these technos are usually pretty young. There's a Techno Plus category for if they want to continue in the techno, or then sometimes they'll move on to the foil as the natural progression into youth foiling and then into senior foiling. That's Doug Baker on the screen there. Not from New Zealand, although he's registered as New Zealand 1. He's actually Charlie Baker's dad, one of the top IQ foil sailors in this fleet at the moment. He's a GBR sailor, Charlie Baker, not Doug Baker, but Charlie Baker is a very good foil, and he's currently leading our foil fleet, which we'll check in with later. Charlie Baker's 6 overall points and in 1st, and his dad is in 6th, having not competed on the first day but scored a series of top 3 results yesterday. That's Doug just preparing for the next race. He's going to be preparing now, getting warmed up before they'll start the race boarders in for their race 2 shortly, and then they'll be going into the technos for their race 2 of today as well. Just a shout out to our sponsors. This event takes a lot of volunteers and help and support to happen, and huge shout out to the volunteers and also our sponsors: Lomo, Stranraer Watersports, Dumfries and Galloway Council, Arway Scotland, Track, Sail Repair, Maneira, Sea Monster, AFS, Waterspeed, Surfers, Wingman, Azure Watersports, and PPC Foiling. Thanks so much for the support. Without the support of these companies, and also the support of all the volunteers, this event couldn't have happened, so thanks so much for that. an update on results from the Techno Fleet. I'll break this up into different categories. So to confirm, we have the Techno Plus category, which is the 8.5 metre, and that's an open age category. We have the leader of that, and first overall also, Ollie Cooper. Second, in the Techno Plus category, we have Gabriella Hollingsheed. And in third, in the Techno Plus category, we have Matthew Golden. In the Techno 7.8 category, men, or boys, I guess is more apt, we have first is Milo Potts, very experienced international racer, has done multiple international events, so he'll be one to talk to if any of the other technos want any advice regarding how to approach the upcoming Techno Worlds in Pwllheli. In second, in the Techno 7.8 boys category, we have Thomas Sigley, who's pretty close in points, only 6 points away from Milo, but Milo has scored all first and seconds, so there is a little bit of a gap there that Thomas Sigley will really want to make up. In third in the Techno is Alice Jarrett. Sorry, she's in the girls' fleet, but she's third overall in the Techno 7.8 as well. But in the boys' fleet, we have third Techno 7.8 is Louis Goodwin Dawson. In the Techno 7.8 women's fleet, girls' fleet, we have Alice Jarrett as the leader. In second, we have Sophia Hollingsheed. In third, we have Phoebe Gay. In the Techno 6.8 fleet, and also fourth in the overall division, including all Techno Plus and 7.8 sailors, we have Ruby Webb. Second 6.8 in the girls division, we have Lily Dorker, who is doing very well. She's a Scottish sailor. Great to see her competing here, and will be interesting to see how the Scottish sailors do. The World's upcoming. They're being taken out by Arway Scotland coaching team, Sam, and also Kai, one of the two coaches for Arway Scotland, and she's doing very well. In third, we have Elsie Miller, who's doing very well as well. In the men's 6.8 fleet, we have first Luke Stevens, second Benedict Sigley, and third Yahoo Lu. Well done to all the competitors competing in this race. We're going to be taking you to the Raceboat fleet, who will be starting very soon. Shout out also to a fleet I haven't mentioned, which is the 3.5 and 5.0 meter fleet, which there's less of, but these are the younger people, 5.8 meter as well, and they're doing very well, competing in such tricky conditions. We have Stranraer, really great to see, all the way down to 3.5 meter, and some pretty young people. One of the guys, Theo Jones, was born in 2014, so I can't do my math, that makes him 11, so pretty young. And that's the race board is just off now. So we see Tom Davies with a great result, and GBR 16 also in a good spot. GBR 16 is Bob Ingram on that black sail that you saw there. He's currently in second overall position. That's David Coles there on the blue board with the red sail. GBR 69. We're just heading back to the Techno fleet now because their start is just coming up, and in preparation for their Worlds, they're having some very competitive racing here. So we'll take you to the Techno fleet, and this is a windward leeward 2, so an upwind, downwind to a gate, upwind again, downwind to a gate, and then I reach the finish line. So this is the Techno start for race 2 of today. GBR 523 on the screen there, lining up on port. That's Alice Jarrett. And 287, Thomas Sigley. So there's not many of them lining up on port here. It takes quite a lot of confidence. 3531, that's Milo Potts. Also lining up on port. So the rest of the guys are bulking up on starboard. So starboard has right of way, and port needs to avoid the starboard sailors, which is a difficult thing to do sometimes. Maybe they'll find a gap, or maybe they'll need to go behind. We'll wait and see. That's them going now. (3477) GBR 3477, and also Ollie Cooper above with an incredible start. GBR 458 with a great start as well. Ruby Webb is in the mix there, a bit covered by the guys in front, but still with a solid start and options to tack out if she pleases. That's Ollie Cooper tacking out now. thinking the right hand side of the course is superior. Ruby Web in the middle is on the white and red sail, is carrying on to the left hand side. And then there's a 7.8 sailor below her who's doing very well as well. We'll update on what number that is. That's 3531, I believe, who's just tacked on to port, crossing behind Ruby Web. I believe that's Milo Potts. So you can see the race boarders there, getting involved with the techno sailors. It's quite important that we don't confuse them. The race boarders are the bigger sails, and the technos are the orange and clear sails, or the green, bright green luminous sails, or the white and orange sails. So they're the smaller ones. Ollie Cooper there, crossing on starboard. The majority of the fleet looking in a great spot. Ollie Cooper really pumping for that upwind mark there. Really working hard. Looks like it's a tight ley line, but I'm sure he'll pump for it. That's Milo Potts really pumping for the line, for the upwind mark there, and working their way downwind now. Ollie and Milo really close together and working really hard. Hugely competitive between those two, and they've been in an incredibly tight battle for that first spot. Ollie usually winning this battle, but Milo really doing well and pushing Ollie during most of the races, and has taken a couple of wins off him as well. That's Ruby rounding the top. Followed up with the rest of the fleet, GBR 287, GBR 523, GBR 222 approaching as well. GBR 449 just rounding the top mark now. GBR 222 is having a close situation with the race boarders, but just about managing to tack in front. That's Ruby there just on your screen. She's currently in 3rd position in this race. Her previous best result was a 3rd, so she'll be really looking to keep this or improve on it going into the next races. Looks like we've had a crash. This can happen if you get caught off guard by a big gust. You can end up crashing, but it's all about a quick uphill. So that's a great race for Noah Golden in 4th overall currently. And he is in 7th in the overall fleet results, so a 4th would be his PB result. That's GBR 523. Alice Jarrett, rounding now and heading to the right hand side of the course. Been a bit of a collision there, a bit of a crash at that leeward mark. Inside board has of the course for their final upwind. We're just approaching Ollie and Milo. Sorry, we're approaching Ollie and GBR 180. So Ollie's in the lead there, really extended and pumping to make the mark. Ollie's work rate is really great. You can see him working really hard to get that lead and maintain that lead. Following up there is Doug Baker. Who is on the raceboard course, but these guys all race on the same course together. Ollie really pumping and working his way downwind. He'll be working really hard to stay planing. It's really important to stay planing. Once you drop off the plane, it's harder to get back on it, so it's easier to work when you're still going fast than fall off the plane, which he's currently doing. So that's him off the plane there, and it gives the other guys opportunity to maintain or catch up pretty quickly. If he had stayed planing there, he would have really extended his lead. That's GBR 3531, that's Milo. trying to chase down Ollie there. He'll be trying to get planing in order to make up the distance quickly, but it is fairly gusty conditions, so at the moment he's in a bit of a lull, bit of a light patch, so he's just doing the non-planing pumping, which is called scooping. He's pumping onto the plane there. You can see him building up speed, but he's going in for a jibe. And in these sort of conditions where it's planing and not planing, even though there's big gaps between people, there's opportunity for Milo to make up a lot of distance if Ollie doesn't get planing. And as you can see, Milo planing towards him now, really closing up that distance hugely. And if that lead from Ollie went from 100 board lengths down to less than 20 there, it looks like Ollie's working really hard, and he's realised Milo's trying to overtake him and come for him now. So we'll see how Ollie responds. The distance is incredibly close between Milo, Ollie, and also the 7/8 sailor just behind him. That's Ollie, just rounding the gate for the final reach to the finish. He'll be pumping and working really hard just to get across that line first, and that'll be his 7th first place of the regatta. There's always the chance though for last minute overtakes, and Milo's working really hard behind him. That's GBR 144, one of our younger sailors and one of our smaller sails of the fleet. You can see the sail's much smaller, so that's only a 6.8 metre. GBR 180 as well, also on a smaller sail size. I believe that's a 5.8. Or a 6.8. That's GBR 287, just rounded then. That's Thomas Sigley, and I believe he's in 3rd place overall. Followed up GBR 483, who is Ruby Webb, currently in 4th. So in results for this race, I believe it's Ollie Cooper with the win, Milo in 2nd, Thomas Sigley in 3rd, and Ruby Webb in 4th. So exactly our 1, 2, 3, 4 going into this day in the overall results. So that's interesting. So they'll be effectively in the 1st to 4th range. There'll be no change in points from this race. That's Ruby just crossed the line now. There's another 6.8 metre sail pumping to the line, racing with GBR 523, which is Alice Jarrett, and GBR 913 just crossing the line ahead of Alice, and GBR 913 is Luke Stevens, who's currently in 5th place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all in there, and Alice 6th, all in the same positions they went through. That's GBR 3477 just passing the line now, and GBR 288 passing the line also. 288 is Benedict Sigley, and 3477 is Noah Golden. It's very rare that you get such a consistent result consistent with the overall results. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all in their overall positions there. GBR 459, Phoebe Gay with a top 10 result in that race. She's currently in 12th overall, so a great result for her. That's the finish line just in front of you on the screen there, between this yacht with the blue flag and the yellow mark. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in for the Techno Racing there. We'll be moving on to the IQ course, which is running at the moment as well. Their warning flag is up, so they'll be starting very soon. So I'm going to swap you over to the IQ feed now. But it's been great watching the Technos, and to confirm, the last result was first Ollie Cooper, second Milo Potts, third Thomas Sigley, fourth Ruby Webb, and fifth Luke Stevens. That's the top 5 of the previous race. So this is the foil course at the moment. We're currently just waiting for racing now. Orange flag is up, but we'll expect the class flag soon, so that'll be the start of the 3 minutes soon. We'll keep you updated about when they start, but there'll be a flag change, and I suspect they'll start in the next few minutes. That's Elena Sanderi you see on our screen now, from Switzerland, all the way from Switzerland for this event. Unfortunately, she was sick, so she's missed a few races, but when she does race, she's scored some top 3 results and some very consistent results. She's an international competitor. Great jibe from her there. The women are on the red and blue sails, and the guys tend to be on just the all red sails, so that's the difference. The guys on the 8 meter IQ foil sail, and the women are on the slightly smaller. Here's the feed from our launching location, Stranraer Watersports. They'll be starting very shortly. In the IQ Foil fleet, we have Charlie Baker leading with 6 points, followed up by Isla Watson, our British sailing team sailor and one of the top female sailors, women sailors in the country. 16 overall points. In third, we have Ethan Page, who often wears a green rash vest and is on 19 points. Three, two, one. That's the 1 minute approaching now. That's the 1 minute until the IQ foilers start. So an interesting course today. We are going to have a start, a race to Mark 1 is a reaching start, and it's a race to Mark 1. Then they'll be going downwind to Mark 2. Then they'll be reaching on again on port to Mark 3. Then they'll be going upwind to Mark 4 and a reach to the finish. So it's reach, downwind, reach, upwind, reach. A box course basically. They're just approaching the line now. They're coming in with speed. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great start for that IQ foiler in the middle of the fleet. You can also see the Swiss flag with also a good start, but the best start there was from Charlie Baker with an incredible midline start. He's come over the guys below. Elena Sandera trying to catch him up, slightly further behind, but an amazing start by Charlie. He's going to round clearly in the lead. Now they're heading downwind to the second mark before reaching on port tack. So they're going downwind now. You can see the guys behind working really deep, trying to get down the inside, but Charlie Baker's on a really good mode. It's going really quick downwind. Clearly in the lead. It's a battle between second, third and fourth, all in a line. First, second, third, fourth, all in a line. Now everyone seems to be heading the same direction, standing on the downwind. Charlie's done multiple international events, is one of the top current GBR youth foilers, but he's having a real battle with the board behind. who I believe may be George Ebden. We'll confirm when we see him rounding the bottom mark a bit closer, but they'll be rounding and going for reach, so they'll both have believed to have jived onto the ley line, but we'll see shortly. Charlie still in the lead there, coming up a bit higher. So that start on the screen was just the wasp start beginning, so that countdown clock was relevant to the wasp starts. The wasps are about to start now. So that's Charlie Baker leading, GBR 511 in second. That's George Ebden, I was correct, George Ebden in second. Great race from him. GBR 512 and Elena Sandera, Switzerland in fourth. 512 is Ollie Ebden, so the two brothers in second and third, followed up by Elena Sandera. Really tight race at the top there. That was Tim Gibson just crossing there, who is our master on the older 9-metre rig, so a bit of a sail advantage there. So they'll be reaching now, and then they'll be doing a short upwind leg before reaching to the finish. So it's a big box course basically. So they start one way and finish to complete the box. That's them heading upwind now. You can see Elena with really good mode upwind, but the youths are slightly above her. Looks like Charlie's in a great spot. That's Ethan Page there as well in 5th place. So it's a real battle for the 3rd position currently. We've got Ollie Ebden racing Elena Sandera and Ethan Page slightly further below. But Charlie Baker, it looks like he's in a really good spot for 1st, and George Ebden looks like he's in a really solid spot for 2nd as well. That's Charlie Baker on the final ley line before the reach to the finish. Charlie really pumping to make that mark, so this completes the box course, which is a new course for the IQ foils. You can see Charlie off the uphill line, which is when he holds onto that rope, and that's to really extend the sail upwards and make the most of his leverage. Ollie behind him, George behind him, pumping really hard as well. Really wanting to catch up to that first spot. Oh my, wow. So that's Charlie, hasn't made the mark, has had to double tack, and George is really pumping to make it round. If he makes it round, he'll go round in 1st. That's George gone round in 1st. Incredible comeback, incredible ley line call by George there has put him into 1st, taking a win off Charlie. Charlie will be a bit frustrated with that, but he's had an incredible series. Wow, that will be George's best result to date, his 1st win of the event, and Charlie in 2nd. Really good ley line call by George and great pumping. He saw from the far out that it was going to be difficult to make, and he really put the effort in to make that ley line. Elena Sandera from Switzerland in 3rd, international competitor, qualified for the Olympics last cycle. Ethan in 4th, and then Ollie in 5th place overall. That was quite an exciting finish to that race actually. That ley line call makes a big difference, and getting that right is really on a difficult thing to do. GBR 385 and Tim Gibson crossing the line now. That's Evelyn Clark crossing just ahead in 6th of Tim Gibson in 7th, GBR 384. That is Sophie Clark, Evie's sister, crossing in 8th. GBR 295 crossing there, Abby Smith in 9th. The rest of the fleet are crossing now, and then they'll be waiting before the next race. They'll be going, talking to their coach, grabbing a drink. It's a pretty intense race there with a reaching start into the downwind, another reach on the opposite tack, so a starboard reach to start, a downwind into a port reach, then an upwind, and then a starboard reach to the finish line. So a big box. GBR 469 crossing the line now, and GBR 170 crossing the line now. That's GBR 170. Alistair Cameron, who is a new foiler. He's recently moved from the Techno class, and that's GBR 3474. Jasper Malik. Jasper is an IQ foil junior, as is you can be seen on the smallest sail size, so it's a slightly less red sail, a bit more clear material, and it's a smaller sail size, so that's the junior equipment, so the younger guys. And then you saw Alistair Cameron just before, who's a new foiler, moved up from the Techno, and great to see him competing and racing so soon in his foiling career. GBR 479 crossing now, or I believe it was 475. That's Darcy MacArthur, one of the Scottish IQ foil juniors. So we'll be waiting for the next race, and then we'll be updating you shortly. That was a really exciting race to see there with a new course, the first time IQ Foils have ever done that course, and I think it would be quite an exciting one to try. This is the Wasp race. They've started, and this is just them coming into the last mark there. That's Andrew Bridgman in first. He's second overall at the moment, but tightly contesting the lead with Martin Evans. But this one is going Andrew Bridgman's way by the look of it. Andrew Bridgman crossing the final mark before the finish and now reaching to the finish. That win will be important for Andrew Bridgman going in to the final races of the day. It's a highly contested lead spot in the Wasp fleet. This is a new addition to Fin and Foil. In second, as expected, is Martin Evans. Martin Evans, GBR 2511. There's a New Zealand flag on the sail, but I can assure you he is British. They buy these sails internationally, so sometimes they don't take off their other flag. That crossing the line there was Daniel Goodman, who was the actual New Zealander of the fleet. And Daniel Goodman is in 6th place overall and achieved a 4th place in that regatta. So in that race, sorry. So a great race for Daniel Goodman. Previously, his best race is 3rd and his second best race is 5th. so it's a very good race for him. This is the last Wasps crossing the line now before we start with the IQs again for the next race. That'll be race 4 of today. So we're just approaching the IQ start again. They'll be preparing for the 4th race of the day. So to confirm, in the previous race, Charlie Baker was leading for the majority of the race. He led round the first mark, he led round the second mark, he led round the third mark, but on the 4th mark he underlaid the Windward mark by about a board length, so such fine margins in there. He'll be very frustrated by that, but that really allowed George Ebden, currently in 4th overall, to capitalise on Charlie's mistake, overtaking Charlie and taking a well-deserved win. His first win of the regatta. The only other person to take wins, only other people to take wins off Charlie Baker have been Isla Watson with 1 win and Ethan Page also with 1 win. But this is the first win that's been taken off him today. But an amazing race there by George Ebden. Also a great race there by Elena Sandera, who finished 3rd. Ethan Page also was in the mix, as was Ollie Ebden, George's brother. 3, 2, 1. That's class flag flying. The boards will be preparing for the final start. That's the start time, just to the right of your screen there. 2 minutes 30. Some of the guys are going away from the start line, some of them are sticking kind of by the start line, and others are going to that first mark. Two minutes coming up. They're all preparing for the line. They'll want to get far away from the line to then come in with speed, hopefully on the correct timing. That's the 2 minutes just gone. Some of the considerations that'll be going through their head is, where do I want to start on that slalom start line in order to reach that mark first? We saw Charlie absolutely smash the start out of the park last race, starting in the middle of the line and then coming down over the rest of the sailors on a lower, faster angle. So maybe some people will take influence from that. We'll see, or we'll see if Charlie can execute another similar start to last time. He'll be frustrated going into this race there, losing the win by such small margins. Four, 3, 2, 1. 1 minute. 1 minute until the start of the IQ Foil race 4 of today. You see them in the far distance. They're quite far away from the line, but you'll see them now coming in on starboard tack towards that start line. They'll all be jostling for possession, moving down, finding the correct spot, because technically in the last 30 seconds they're not meant to change angle and they're meant to head towards that first mark. So it's a box course, same as last start. So it's a reach on starboard, downwind, reach on port to mark 3, upwind to mark 4, and then a reach on starboard to finish. So starboard reach, downwind, port reach, upwind, starboard reach, a box. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, really tight start there. Elena thought she was going to be too early, so she slowed down there and it's out the back. GBR 512 at the bottom there. That's Ollie Ebden with a great start at the bottom, but looks like he's being rolled by GBR 384 and GBR 389. GBR 384 is Sophie Clark, but Charlie Baker with another amazing start from further up, rolling the majority of the fleet, coming over Sophie Clark and then rounding first at the top mark, the first mark, and this is their downwind leg now. In second, that looks like Ethan Page with a great start of his own in second and contesting with the other guys. That's the overview of them heading downwind. As you can see, there's a bulk at the front, all fighting for that top spot. That's Charlie Baker jibing, Ethan jibing now. Great jibe from the board in third, GBR 512. Ollie Ebden. Charlie extending into the lead again, but we'll see if he can be caught by the others. Everyone will be gunning after him, and Charlie will be looking to stay consistent, sail the course well, and maintain his lead. You can see the extension there by Charlie. A good lead there as they approach the reaching mark. Really pumping, really working hard, working low. It's a tight ley line, but it looks like Charlie's just about on it. He's pumping down. You can see the boards slightly below, might be on a slightly easier line, but Charlie makes it round the mark. In first, followed by GBR 512 Ollie, followed by Ethan Page, followed by 511. George Ebden, previous race winner. Elena Sandera just making it round and staying foiling. Really tight ley line by her. GBR 384 passing now. That's Sophie Clark, followed by her sister Evie Clark. GBR 971 having a great race there. That's William Heath, who is an IQ Foil Junior on the smaller sail size. That's Charlie pumping on the upwind leg. They've just rounded the third mark, so they're now heading upwind to complete their box course. Charlie has a great lane. Everyone falling into Charlie's line there. Looks like Charlie is in the lead, but it will come down to the ley line call. This is a bit further back in the race, but that's Evie and Sophie, and also William Heath, all battling together. They're in about 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th in this race. At the front of the fleet, Charlie Baker is being chased down by Ethan Page, Ollie Ebden and George Ebden. That's Charlie making the ley line call. He's made it early. He thinks he's on the lay. Let's see if everyone else agrees with him. Ethan Page going for the tack. Ollie Ebden going for an early tack as well. George Ebden tacking too. Elena Sandera continuing on port and tacking on top. Ethan Page going on for the overtake of Elena, rolling Elena. Elena working really hard to try and stop that happening. That's Evie and Sophie Clark fighting it out there between them, the two sisters fighting it out. At the front of the race, we have Charlie Baker, overall regatta leader. Lost out on the race win in the previous race by a bad ley line call. We'll see how he does with this ley line call, but he has extended hugely. That's the mark there. Does he make it? Does he get his another race win to his books? It looks like he's passed it clearly. Great ley line call by Charlie. Ethan's lost out a bit to Ollie and George Ebden, but great race by those two and another consistent result for George. Elena Sandera there rounding in 5th position, overtaken by Ethan. It's the rest of the fleet approaching that mark there, including the Clark sisters, who have been battling all race. They've just gone through the line now. That was a great race to watch, very exciting. Charlie getting a very deserved win, so well done to Charlie Baker. He has added another notch to his belt. Great race also by the Ebdens, coming 2nd and 3rd place. Ethan Page with a great consistent 4th place. He was 3rd going into the day, so he'll be battling with Ollie Ebden for the 3rd spot. Elena having a poor start, fought her way back through the fleet, and really great race by Elena in the end, finishing 4th overall. She had a big battle on her hands after coming a bit too close to the start line too early, so she had to pull out, slow down on the start line, and then she had to fight her way back through the fleet, which she managed to do very well. It's the final sailors crossing the line now, coming up to the upwind mark, that final reach to the finish. Another shot of the last youths crossing the line.